Hi guys, how you guys doing? I'm live. How you guys doing? I want to do some road rant. It's all good. I really do appreciate it when the universe reaches out to me and to encourage me. Sometimes in subtle ways that maybe a non-aspy person wouldn't catch, maybe. But I'll tell you a couple of them that encouraged me just now. I was in McDonald's and I was just there to get a drink of water. I wasn't ordering anything that costs money, LOL, because I don't have any. But the order that came up while I was standing there first was 664, and then someone took that, and then someone got the order 665, and someone took that. And then if I would have ordered anything, my order number would have been 666, which is perfect because my birthday is 12/6/66, and I might even be the Antichrist, so... And even if I'm not, I'm connected to Satan somehow through the numbers. I have a feeling. I can't prove it, but I have a feeling that I am. And so that was really like synchronicity at its finest. If I just would have ordered a drink, or if I'd had any money to my name, I would have ordered something just so I could be number 666. Of course, the people after me had to be that now. But it was rightfully mine. I just didn't have any money to spend, LOL. But I was still in the right place at the right time for that. And of course, there's a synchronicity of the dude that had the video of the party of me playing on his phone right when I was in there at Del Taco. And then a fan just now said something to me out of her car, which I appreciate. I love you guys, my fans, and I especially love when you give me a message, because I consider it from the universe, because you're saying you're my fans. I trust you guys. I love you guys. And a message from you guys is like important to me. And she said, keep on going, keep on doing what I'm doing. And I said, what? I couldn't quite hear it first. She said it again. She said, keep on going. We love you, she said. And I said, thank you, love you too. So that's cool, good messages from the universe and or my fans to encourage me and tell me to keep going and everything's okay. But despite all the drama in my life of recent days and hours and minutes, I'm actually making musical progress steadily, and I just haven't been talking about it, or maybe it just hasn't been on the tip of my mind. But I'd like to discuss some now and how it's going to affect my jams. I'm going to do a jam when I get home, at least I plan to. I'm on my way home right now, so in a few hours I'm going to do a jam. It's going to be slightly different because of this breakthrough. The breakthrough is these breakthroughs in music are hard because music is hard, okay? You get that? Music takes study. You don't just get it by sitting there and or doing nothing or whatever. I finally got my head around jazz chords. You guys get that? Like major seventh chords, minor seventh chords, dominant seventh chords, half diminished seventh chords, or sometimes called minor seventh flat 5 chords, diminished seventh chords, and then sometimes even major 7 sharp 5 chords, and sometimes even minor major 7 chords. There's 7 types of 7th chord that don't have an augmented third or a diminished third in them. And I just named them. And to get your head around all those, they each have 4 notes because they're 7th chords, 1, 3, 5, 7. That means 4 notes in the chords. They're very, very, takes a lot of thought and meditation and discipline to get your head around them. And yet at the same time, when you've done your homework and you get your head around them, suddenly you can use these sounds. We have arpeggios, chords, progressions, whatever, modal stuff to make good music. And lately I've been getting into jazz. I think you guys can tell that. I mean, I've been drifting that direction. I like the 7th chords. And more than just the blues use of 7th chords, and more than just the triads that are used in classical music. I like the 7th chords in jazz. Sorry, but I do. Add a swing rhythm to it, add a major scale sound, and you have jazz. Who cares if it's on electric distorted guitar? It's still the same music that maybe John Coltrane might have played. Not that I'm on his level, of course, but so that's a new thing I'm going to add to my palette on my next jam, and next jam's coming after that. And I want to toot the horn, or whatever that phrase is, of two guitarists that use seventh chords more in their playing than most do, and that I never bring up. And I apologize. Maybe I wasn't ready to. Maybe I wasn't on their level enough to put it that way. Maybe LOL. But I'm talking about Greg Howe and Ritchie Kotzen. They're both shrapnel shredders of the 80s. I know Kotzen kind of sold out. He went to Poison, and then he just kind of started singing and went to playing a Telecaster and kind of did the Paul Gilbert anti-shred idea. But Greg Howe didn't. Greg Howe still shreds to this day. And Ritchie, I love Ritchie. I love both those two guys had instruction videos. Ritchie's one of my favorites. It's called Rock Chops, ROCKCHOPS. One of my favorite instruction DVDs ever. And then Greg Howe had Hot Rock Licks, I think it was called. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it's called. Hot Rock Licks, HOTROCKLICKS, Hot Rock Licks. Something like that. Yeah, something like Hot Rock Licks. And Ritchie's was Rock Chops. And those guys had a lot of jazz influence in their shredding. You know, maybe even beyond Steve Vai and Satriani and the guys that are most famous for kind of using some jazz in their shredding, if they, you know, in their solo instrumental stuff. But Ritchie Kotzen and Greg Howe, they were like Paul Gilbert or Yngwie Malmsteen, but jazz, you know. And I really dig that. I'm sorry I haven't, Ritchie Kotzen, if you're watching, sorry I have never mentioned you, but you're a huge influence on me. I say things when I'm ready and when it's time to. And I love your video, Rock Chops. I love it. It came out in 1990. Awesome video. I'm almost afraid to watch it because I don't want to, I know I'm going to grab every lick from it. And I don't want to sound just like Ritchie. But at the same time, why not? Why not sound like Ritchie Kotzen? He's one of my favorite players ever. I just haven't been ready to bring him up yet. And until I am, and now I have brought him up. I just dig he used a lot of minor sevenths, major sevenths, arpeggio type stuff, and tapping, but really great tapping. Not just he could tap like Eddie, but he would play seventh chords instead of just triads. And he could tap like Steve, but he would play it even faster and even more intricate sometimes than even Steve would. I mean, Ritchie was just a crazy monster player, kind of like Steve Vai on steroids or something, you know. Steve Vai is great, and I love him, and he's very influential, great rock guitarist. You know, one of the best string players in the world, maybe the best living rock guitarist in the world. Considering position, you know, in other words, considering that he's famous and he's earned his right on the throne, but Ritchie Kotzen was right on his tail the whole time, you know. All he would have had to do was stick with shred, and he would have been more famous, I have a feeling. And he could have done that because he could shred. He was great. So in the vein of Ritchie Kotzen and Greg Howe, I'm finally reaching to their level now. Notice I said reaching. I didn't say arriving at. I said reaching. I'm ready to tackle some of their level of shredding. But it doesn't get much higher than that. I know there's Jason Becker when he could play. I really don't like watching him in his wheelchair and all that. It's kind of sad to me. Not trying to be mean. I just don't like seeing that. It just upsets me a little bit. My dad died of the same disease, you know. My adopted dad died of that same disease. So I don't, you know, but he was great. He had a video. He had the magic of Jason Becker guitar or something like that. The magic of Jason Becker. That might have been the word, it might not have been. But something like that. And it was just little tidbits of him shredding in the day, giving a lesson here and there, giving a lesson in Japan, for instance, and just him showing his licks. I mean, he's great. I love Perpetual Burn and Electric Joy. Yeah, Electric Joy is Ritchie Kotzen. Perpetual Burn is Jason Becker. Plus, Jason Becker had Monty Friedman and Jason Becker Cacophony band, and they did 2 albums. They did Speed Metal Symphony and they did Go Off. And then Ritchie Kotzen had Electric Joy, a bunch of others, and Ritchie and Greg Howe albums. So I have a lot of those albums at home. Oh, they're on CD, of course. But I mean CD. Greg Howe had a bunch. He had one just called Greg Howe. Had a song called Pepper Shake on it. Great song, dude. This guy could play, man. The first one was just called Greg Howe. He had one called Hyper Acuity or something, and one called Soundproof. One called oh god, I should know these. Parallax was one. He had one. He had one called. Oh god, I should remember this. Parallax. Oh god, what were some of the others? I have them at home. I just never listened to them hardly because I haven't been ready to. Parallax. Greg Howe, the self-titled. Maybe just a bunch of good ones, you know. And I went to see a Greg Howe clinic, as I've told you before. I went to see, it was in like 2015 or something at Guitar Center in San Marcos. And I really got along with him well. You know, he said, feel free to buy him a drink. And I went and bought him a soda. And I said, note that you didn't say it had to be alcoholic. And he laughed and took the drink I gave him. And I bought a drink for him. And he heard me play. He didn't see me play because he was detained, not detained, but he was with his other, fans there at the clinic. But I said, hey, Greg, I'm going to go over to the corner here. I'm going to put my guitar on. I'm going to turn the amp up when I'm going to play. I want you to listen and tell me what you think. So I go over, I plug in the guitar, I play it loud enough for him to hear me. I just play some Jimmy stuff. Came back to him and he just said to me, he said, was that you? And I said, yeah. And he said, that was really nice. Keep it up, or keep at it, or something to that effect. That was really nice, he said. Keep it up, or something to that effect. That was really great he said that, you know. I've had my run-in with the rock stars. I really have. Not that that's touting my horn, and aren't I great? But it was important for my musical development to brush shoulders with them. You know, I've had Ray Manzarek walk right by me. Ray Manzarek, keyboard player for the Doors. When I was in Santa Monica in the late '90s, Ray was signing a book at Barnes and Noble on 3rd Street Promenade, and I showed up so I could see him. And Ray Manzarek walks right in front of me, as close as I am to my phone right now. Didn't even notice me. Didn't even know I was on the planet. But that could have been my actual natural father's bandmate, you know. And there I am there. I'm like 28, 29, 30 years old, and he just walks right by me like I'm not even there. Love it, right? Anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, rock and roll.